Okay, so today we're going to talk about the pathway of blood. As we do this, something that I want you to remember is that I'm going to use the colors blue and red. And I want you to understand that your blood is never blue. Your blood always has oxygen in it. Blue is poorly oxygenated. Red is very oxygenated. As I flip through pictures, you need to be going to the next slide. You need to be writing down the words that I say and doing the colors that I say also. That is going to help you with some later assignments and understand the pathway of blood. So let's get started. Let's look at our first picture. So here is my heart. Blood is going to be coming up here and coming down here. Both of those, you can see the drainage tubes right here, are draining into here. So this tube right here should be the inferior vena cava. Now, vena is telling me it's a vein. Okay, inferior is below. Up here, I have the superior vena cava, meaning above. Both of those, the inferior is bringing blood from the bottom of the body, superior is bringing blood from the top of the body. They are entering into the right atrium. The atrium is the top chamber. So while we're here, let's make sure we're marking right and left. Remember, this is a picture of the heart sitting in our body, so you got to be opposite. All right, let's switch pictures. We're going to put our right here, our left over here. Now, the blood is going to go from the right atrium into my big chamber at the bottom. It goes through a valve. A valve is like a doorway. It opens and closes. Tricuspid valve is on the right, and here is my right ventricle. Ventricles are on the bottom. Let's go to the next picture. Now, the blood goes from the right ventricle okay, it's coming out here and out here. This is my pulmonary artery. My pulmonary artery, this would be my left pulmonary artery, and over here would be my right pulmonary artery. Okay, now medical terminology. The pulmon is telling me that it's taking blood, that it's lungs. So pulmon is lungs. And as you should learn from your WebQuest, artery is away. So it's taking it away from the heart to the lungs. Blood is now going to enter the lungs, and when it does enter the lungs, it does so through a capillary. Those are very small blood vessels. The oxygen will leave the lungs and go into the blood. It's diffusion. Okay? At the same time, the carbon dioxide is going to be leaving those capillaries and going into the lungs. So oxygen is coming into the blood vessels and the carbon dioxide is going out of those blood vessels. Both of those processes are through diffusion. It is important to remember, as I said before, we always have oxygen in the blood. It may be small amounts. So once all that oxygen gets into our blood, the blood is now going to leave the lungs. Now that I have a ton of oxygen, it is going to leave, and I'm going to be using red now because now my blood is going to be dark red. It's going to be coming in to the heart, and this is through a pulmonary vein. So pulmonary means lungs. Again, sorry, this is going to be the right pulmonary vein, and this is the left pulmonary vein. So vein, as we should know from our web quest, brings blood to the heart. And where? From the lungs. That pulmonary is telling me it's coming from the lungs. So that blood goes into that right atrium. See, it's coming from the other side here, from this side here. Okay, and it's specifically going now into my left atrium. Okay, let's go to the next page. Leaves the left atrium, goes through a valve again. This valve is going to be on the left side, so this would be my bicuspid, also known as mitral valve. Again, a valve is just a doorway, and this is my left ventricle. Okay. Last picture, it leaves the left ventricle, goes up this tube, going out here, 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 and down here. This is my aorta. Takes to the upper part of my body, and down here, my aorta is going to the lower part of the body. Okay, something else that I didn't mention, this should be my aortic semilunar valve, and I forgot to label the pulmonary semilunar valve. If you want to go back a couple slides when we do the pulmonary and label that pulmonary valve. Once it leaves the aorta, it goes all the way through the body, and then the process is then repeated and it starts over again.